This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin with developing news. Tonight, U.S. President Donald Trump says he has agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. That pause, he says, subject to Iran agreeing to immediately reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The situation in the Middle East has brought worry among Winnipeggers with family in the country. But as the CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco shows us, some also have concerns about the possibility of suspending the war without a regime change.
These are all from Iran.
Ramtin Teimouri's home is filled with reminders of the life he left behind. Government oppression forced his family out of Iran in 2009. Years later, he still dreams of one day going back.
So I want to see my family and friends there. I can't right now for many different reasons.
As the U.S.-Israel conflict with Iran drags for almost a month and a half, Teimouri says returning seems farther from a reality. But even as a possible stop has come through, he fears Iran will turn the page.
Being left with this regime that's not going to wound it and humiliate it would be even worse than before or just as bad. And that's already terrifying.
Mediators laid down a 45-day ceasefire proposal that was rejected by Tehran, according to local state media. Iran is asking for a permanent end to the war. Teimouri says either option will be a loss for Iranians.
Either the infrastructure will be destroyed if the regime's in power, things will get worse, or there is a ceasefire, the political structure remains intact, and they will continue the execution spree.
For the Iranian monarchists of Manitoba, an end or pause to the conflict now will mean all the dead so far would have been for nothing, because the regime is still in power.
They will come back much more dangerous, much more dangerous. They will come back for revenge, and, the history has proved that, Islamic Republic regime is brutal.
Still, Gabami fears for the life of his siblings living in Iran, and as the conflict continues, Teimouri is also worried. But both say their families are okay with waiting in the crossfire if it means the possibility of change.
They say war is scary, the regime is scarier.
For now, they will hold hope to see a transition away from the current government, where Iranians can get a seat at the table. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg refugee advocates say the city is seeing an influx of Somali refugees. They say they are coming to Canada to avoid getting caught in an immigration crackdown, which has seen U.S. President Donald Trump singling out Somali migrants. The CBC's Arturo Chang has more on the fallout of that crackdown, now being felt here in Manitoba.
We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
Donald Trump stoking anti-immigration sentiment against Somalis early on in the months-long immigration crackdown in Minnesota. The state is home to the largest Somali population in the U.S. Now the consequences of that crackdown are being felt here in Canada.
150 between December and the end of February. Somalis, mostly single men.
Abdikar Ahmed says hundreds of Somalis have crossed the border into Manitoba this winter. He runs Resilia Wellness Center, which offers mental health supports for newcomers in Winnipeg. Ahmed says he's heard from many who risked their lives to come to Canada.
How Trump and his regime targeted the Somali population in Minnesota has really put an anxiety to a different level amongst the community members.
The Salvation Army says more than half of the refugees that stayed at its Winnipeg shelter over the past 6 months came from the States. Advocates say that is putting pressure on such shelters and other services.
Living conditions remain difficult as people are facing overcrowded housing, limited access to food, and delays in getting work permits.
We're taking back control on immigration.
Meanwhile, Canada is making getting asylum harder. A new bill passed this month sets time limits for claims. Immigration lawyer Alistair Clark says many of his clients have been impacted.
Tightening the restrictions from individuals in the United States who are trying to come to Canada, in my view, that's not a good solution.
The federal government says the new law will make the system more sustainable. Abdikar Ahmed says that won't change the reality for people who are fearing for their lives. and that more will come as the weather warms. Arturo Chang, CBC News, Winnipeg.
We have an update now to a story that we brought you last week. Health Canada had imposed regulations on Grifols plasma donation centres following the deaths of 2 people after giving plasma at the paid clinics. While Health Canada previously said the new terms and conditions would apply to all Grifols locations in Canada, in fact, they do not apply to the location on Innovation Drive in Winnipeg. That location is under a different license. Well, to the Manitoba legislature now, where Progressive Conservative leader Abi Khan made a dehumanizing and hateful comment directed at Health Minister Uzoma Asagwara. That is according to Speaker Tom Lindsay. But Khan is vehemently denying that. The CBC's Ian Fraze joins us from the newsroom now. So, Ian, walk us through what happened here.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, the NDP accused Abi Khan of making a transphobic remark about Uzoma Asagwara, Manitoba's first non-binary MLA. Khan was accused of saying, quote, "You're a terrible person, whatever you are," end quote. The speaker investigated, found an alternative recording, and on Tuesday said the NDP's understanding was correct.
I was shocked and appalled to hear such dehumanizing comment had in fact been made in this chamber. There have been a lot of hurtful, disrespectful things said in this chamber in my time as Speaker, and I truly wish that those comments and this comment had never been heard in this room.
Reaction to the Speaker's ruling was swift. Asagwara says the legislature is supposed to be an esteemed place to work.
I wasn't protected as a Manitoban. In that place, someone could look at me across the aisle and levy a statement against me that was not only disgusting and dehumanizing and derogatory and transphobic, it was in fact dangerous.
Now, Ian, Abi Khan has apologized for how his remarks were taken, but insists he wasn't targeting the health minister. What's his explanation?
That the audio captured only a small fragment of what he said. We're going to let you listen right now to that moment, to that audio made available by the speaker. You'll see at the bottom of the screen text of what was said. We color-coded it to represent different speakers.
Great, by the way. Really well behaved. Again, Honourable Speaker, we are very grateful for our partnerships with school divisions. We're grateful for our partnership with the superintendent from Pembina Trails School Division, with the board chair.
What did you just say? Now, Khan says that audio was cut off prematurely, and what he actually said was, quote, "Whatever you are saying, say it outside." That type of phrase is said commonly in the legislature, MLAs basically daring each other to repeat their statements outside the chamber. Now, Khan says that the Speaker's decision does not represent his character.
I did not make any statements intended to target or demean the minister or anyone else based on their background, identity, or role. I know this. This is not who I am. It is not what I stand for.
Khan does not have an explanation for why he says the audio the speaker referred to was clipped off. Riley.
Thank you, Ian. That's the CBC's Ian Fraze in the newsroom. Your wine and beer purchases will soon no longer help you rack up points. Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries is parting ways with the Air Miles program. Air Miles is transitioning to Blue Rewards this summer, and Liquor and Lotteries will not be moving to the new program. After offering Air Miles for nearly 30 years, Liquor and Lotteries says its priorities and direction have changed. The Crown Corporation says starting June 1st, it will no longer accept your Air Miles card at point of purchase, but will explore opportunities for a different loyalty program in the future. That leads us to a first check on your weather forecast on a messy day in parts of the province. Some poor road conditions, particularly through parts of the parkland with that snow moving in. Let's get a first check with meteorologist Colette Kennedy.
Hey, Riley. Nice to be back with you once again. Wish it was under better weather circumstances. We do have this Alberta clipper moving through that we have to deal with. Already some of that light snow obviously has begun and has been moving through over the last few hours. Stretches all the way back to Alberta still, but more of a consistency through Saskatchewan at the moment. We do have yellow level snowfall warnings for the areas you're seeing here, Parkland and Inner Lakes regions, where it's 15 to perhaps up to 30 centimeters centimeters of snow that is possible. But yeah, Winnipeg and a little bit further south here across the bottom part of the province, not all of it, but much of it, we are in at least a weather statement with quite the range, potentially 2 centimeters to up to 10. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in the show why we would be seeing the lower end or the higher end there. 0 degrees for us tonight. That temperature is actually going to be rising as we head towards morning. So 1 degree still with some snow showers and a southeasterly breeze. There'll probably be a dry slot in the afternoon. And then the backside of this system will bring more wet flurries or a bit of a mix with some rain showers through again. I'll have more on the timing of this and those totals coming up.
Sounds good. Thanks, Colette. Coming up, it helps supply Winnipeg with drinking water. Now, Shoal Lake 40 is helping Winnipeg build more housing. Details on a new development that will soon take shape in St. James when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. A First Nation that helps supply Winnipeg with drinking water is now helping to solve its housing shortage. Shoal Lake 40 is leading a new 150-unit housing development in St. James. The CBC's Cameron McLean has more on what leaders are calling a major step toward economic reconciliation.
Shoal Lake 40 First Nation has broken ground on its first housing development in Winnipeg, bringing 150 units to this lot on Portage Avenue.
We are now coming to the city's aid again with this $48 million affordable housing development, providing a cost-effective housing solution to the city's critical housing shortage.
Shoal Lake 40 has supplied Winnipeg's drinking water for more than a century, after the city built an aqueduct through its territory in 1919. While Winnipeg grew, the First Nation was cut off from the mainland and lived under a boil water advisory for more than 2 decades. Diane Redsky led the community's Economic Development Corporation.
Housing is not just about buildings and concrete and steel. Housing is about families. Housing is about people.
Total funding for the project adds up to $51 million, with the money coming from 3 levels of government and the First Nation. The project will include 150 units, with about 40% offered at affordable rates for at least 20 years, along with on-site supports for residents. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham praised the project for bringing the city and the First Nation together.
This is a powerful example, though, of economic reconciliation in action, as you've heard, supporting Indigenous-led development that creates opportunities, builds community, and, of course, increases housing supply.
The city is contributing funding through its Housing Accelerator Fund as it looks to speed up construction and add more housing supply. Construction is underway, with completion expected in about 2 years. Leaders say more projects could follow. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
2 Steinbach charities are working with public and private medical providers to build the future of healthcare in the region for decades to come. The CBC's Christopher Garreau shows us how.
It's a field of dreams for now, but the Bethesda Foundation and Bethesda Wellness want to turn this field behind me into a medical service hub for the Steinbach region. The foundation collects the donations, and Bethesda Wellness gets shovels in the ground. They've already started building a medical campus. Chris Gertson and Keith Unger are on the boards of both charities.
Our model is a timely health care for all, and we think that that could be improved in our region.
Southern Health leases space at the campus, creating a quick care clinic that's taken pressure off Steinbach's hospital.
Having an organization that's willing to look at what's the art of possible is opens up other opportunities for us to kind of consider.
A wide variety of other health services make their home here, including Eden Healthcare Services, which focuses on mental health. Its CEO says they are excited to expand its offerings, surrounded by other medical professions.
The more complexity there, the greater the advantages of being able to collaborate and partner and work closely together.
Bethesda Wellness now wants to build a hospice on the 7 acres it recently purchased across the street. All the money it hopes to make leasing space to the health authority, nonprofits, and private businesses will go straight back into creating even more healthcare space and services.
It's not a model that you'll see a big impact in 5 or 10 years. I think it's something that you have to be looking at 30 and 50 years and beyond.
The work of the founders in 1980 and their successors running the Bethesda Foundation has been felt throughout the city and region. Its latest contribution was its largest, $8 million for the hospital expansion. That added 3 operating theaters, laboratories, and a palliative care center, with the charity giving Southern Health input on design. It's why the patient beds expand into cuddle beds, so someone can hold them close.
But there's other parts of living and being human, like having space and time with family and a moment for a spiritual ceremony.
The Bethesda Foundation has almost reached its current capital campaign goal, $22 million. All of it going back into healthcare in Steinbach. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
The City of Winnipeg's ground squirrel management program is now underway for the season. The city plans to treat athletic fields at 9 parks with a rodenticide. The affected parks are on your screen here and can be found on the city's website as well. The city says holes the squirrels dig pose a safety hazard for pedestrians and field users. Groups, including Animal Justice, are calling on the province to suspend the city's permit for the treatments, saying they pose risks to other species, including dogs and cats. All right, it's time now for a full check on our Manitoba weather forecast on a day where it certainly doesn't feel like spring, even though the calendar may dictate that change. Let's get back to meteorologist Colette Kennedy.
Thanks, Riley. You know, my sweater here, for those of you who can't quite make it out at home, it says hello spring. Maybe a little bit ironic because it's almost more of a hello spring. Come on, I know, ups and downs, these are normal, this is how it goes, but here we are with a wintry system moving through. Showing you the temperatures from this afternoon because I just want you to get an idea how in so many cases here, including Winnipeg, we're at the freezing mark or very close to it. And as the temperature is actually going to be steady and then coming up a little bit through the overnight hours. That's why for kind of the southern tier of the province, we'll be getting more mixing of wet snow or mixing with rain showers, and that changes the accumulations and how much we'll be seeing in terms of snow. It's a different story, though, here in the area where we have the yellow level snowfall warning, and through the Inner Lakes region back towards Parkland, we're talking about 15 to 30 centimeters. Even if we don't get there, it is a pretty widespread 10 to 20 centimeters. And then further south, including Winnipeg, that is where we have the weather statement. Not only do we have the snow or that mixing, but some strong winds, so blowing it around and reducing visibility in here as well. And this is really, you know, we're experiencing it now, but carrying on tonight through tomorrow, although there'll be a dry slot and then kind of tapering off on the backside of it tomorrow evening and overnight into Thursday morning. So here you go with kind of that broad band that extends right on back to almost continuous back towards Saskatoon. And this is just that leading edge. It comes through, it expands. You can see why you get the heavier snowfall totals a little bit further north. But here comes that mixing as the temperatures rising further south. We get into some rain showers, and that's why in some areas maybe it's only 2 centimeters and melting because of the temperatures or the warmth of the ground. I know, warm enough to at least melt snow. And so that kind of changes things in terms of the accumulations there where it's more consistent north and you get into those higher totals. So here we are. This is by Wednesday evening. There's kind of that dry slot and then the backside swings through, and that's why we may have a break and then it picks up once again. And then a little trough coming through on Thursday, so maybe Thursday evening some wet flurries coming back at us. So this is at least one model projection because we certainly, I've been watching and there's really been a range much lower here, Winnipeg, further south, Winkler, back towards Brandon, almost nothing because of it melting or being a mix. And then you can see maybe over 15, perhaps over 20 centimeters for Dauphin. So 1 degree by tomorrow morning, 2 degrees into the afternoon, much lighter or even that dry slot as mentioned, and those winds not quite as strong into the afternoon, but they do change direction and eventually around to the northwest, and that's going to be a cooler flow. And then as we head into Thursday, we do get some sunshine coming back other than that trough and into Friday as well. But more importantly, how about a bit of a warm up, Riley, as we head towards the weekend?
The weather update is brought to you by Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
Double digits on that long-range forecast are going to feel nice. We have more ahead for you after the break as we take a look at the sunset over Winnipeg last night. We're back right after this. Let's return to the developing news that we brought you at the top of the show, a major update on the war on Iran. Donald Trump agreeing to suspend attacks on Iran for 2 weeks, subject to Tehran agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. In a statement that was released moments ago, Iran's foreign minister has confirmed that safe transit will be allowed through the strait for 2 weeks. The U.S. president says he believes a 10-point proposal from Iran is a workable basis for negotiation. Now, this is far from where we started the day today. The U.S. president beginning the day with an apocalyptic social media post about Iran, saying a whole civilization would die unless Iranian leaders agreed to his demands. Those words drew condemnation from within the U.S. and around the world, with many saying such actions would constitute a war crime. It's not the first time Trump has backed down from a deadline, but previous ones weren't preceded by such threatening, escalatory language. Now, the U.S.-led war with Iran is creating uncertainty with global markets. That is airlines adding new fees due to soaring jet fuel prices. And as Aaron Collins reports, it comes along with warnings of potential cancellations.
Sticker shock setting in at airports across Canada.
I understand, but it's going to make it really difficult for a lot of people to travel.
With ticket prices rising in tandem with the cost of jet fuel, WestJet, Air Canada, Porter, and Air Transat all charging fuel surcharges or extra fees on some bookings too. Moves receiving mixed reviews from Canadian passengers.
If there's ways that they can find opportunities not to pass that on to Canadians who are already feeling pretty squeezed from every direction, that would be great.
They plan for prices in a context of a certain fuel price, and when the world changes, they have to change with it.
Those charges a way for Canadian airlines to shore up their bottom lines. Globally, a lack of jet fuel is already leading to fuel rationing and flight cancellations overseas, something Canadian airlines won't likely have to worry about.
So we're in good shape in Canada in terms of supply. We're going to pay the world price, but that's why you see the surcharges and those fare increases in place, but at least we have supply.
Well, the pinch for airlines a result of the U.S.-led war with Iran. That conflict effectively closing the Strait of Hormuz, where about a fifth of the world's oil and gas passes through.
This new leverage over Hormuz, which has caused oil prices to go up with no end in sight, frankly. And this can persist for a long period of time because Iran can very cheaply threaten the strait.
And as the war with Iran heads into its 6th week, the path to ending the conflict unclear. The U.S. president threatening to escalate attacks if the strait isn't reopened.
We can bomb the hell out of them, we can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist.
As the conflict with Iran drags on and the price of oil flirts with $110 U.S. per barrel, the turbulent times for air travel seem likely to persist even after the Strait of Hormuz reopens. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
The United Nations says a grim new toll has been reached. In Lebanon, more than 1 million people have now been forced from their homes due to the conflict in the Middle East.
Children are disproportionately affected, making up around 1/3 of the displaced people, with tens of thousands already living in shelters under increasingly fragile conditions.
UN officials are worried about the spread of infectious diseases such as measles, hepatitis, and cholera. The death toll is rising as well. The UN says Israel's offensive against Iranian-backed Hezbollah forces in Lebanon have now killed almost 1,500 people, including at least 129 children. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance visited Budapest today on a mission to support Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban's bid for re-election. It's the latest example of Donald Trump's efforts to prop up the world's political strongmen, but Orban is trailing in the polls in a vote that could end his 16 years in power. Crystal Gomansing has the latest.
J.D. Vance, the U.S. Vice President, is in Hungary, there partly to help the man he describes as a statesman rally support for his re-election.
Thank you very much for being so kind to visit us.
The two-day visit comes as Prime Minister Viktor Orban faces his biggest political challenge in more than a decade. He's trailing the opposition leader Peter Magyar by double digits in the polls. At a rally last month, Magyar told the crowd the government has betrayed Hungarian and European interests, adding that Orban wants a kind of Russian puppet state. Orban's a proponent of Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump, and is often seen as a thorn in the side of the European Union, opposing the group's migration policies, support measures for Ukraine, and advocating far-right causes. In a joint press conference, Vance accused the EU of interfering in the election.
Now, I don't expect, of course, the people of Hungary to listen to the Vice President of the United States. That's not primarily why I'm here. But I did want to send a signal to everybody, particularly the bureaucrats in Brussels who have done everything that they can to hold down the people of Hungary because they don't like the leader who has actually stood up for the people of Hungary. And I think it's important to say that.
Voters head to the polls in Hungary on Sunday. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has unveiled new details to address Canada's infrastructure issues. The federal government plans to spend $51 billion over the next decade to help repair and build roads, bridges, buildings, and homes. Spending first announced in the 2025 Liberal budget last fall. But as Marina von Stackelberg reports, much more is needed.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, in a suit and safety gear, tours the construction site of a new community centre in Brampton, Ontario. This is one of several infrastructure projects Ottawa has picked to help pay for.
The government will announce a dozen projects worth $300 million in federal funding this week, from new sports and recreation centres to new water treatment plants and reservoirs that provides the necessary infrastructure to enable new home building.
The federal government has also earmarked money for another community centre in Vancouver. Other projects include water and sewage treatment facilities in all the Maritime and Prairie provinces, road and utility work in the territories, and street improvements in Laval, northwest of Montreal. All part of a larger plan to spend $51 billion over the next decade on Canada's infrastructure.
It's a welcome signal that the federal government, of course, is recognizing how essential this local infrastructure is.
The Conservatives accuse Carney of just re-announcing money. They say Canadians don't need the Prime Minister at a podium, they need results. And the money, while welcome, might not scratch the surface after decades of governments failing to upkeep roads, pipes, transit, bridges, and buildings, according to this expert.
That shelf life has come to an end for a lot of this infrastructure. So yes, 10 times this amount of investment is probably necessary. The numbers are mind-boggling.
This announcement is likely political. A number of the projects are in ridings the Liberals and Conservatives have battled over. And this money comes less than a week from 3 important by-elections. The results could secure Carney a majority government. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, here in Manitoba, some of that funding that Marina mentioned will go to the arm of Headingley. A new water reservoir and pumping station is planned as part of the federal government's plan to address infrastructure gaps across the country. $5 million is being allocated for the project, which aims to boost water capacity as well as improve climate resiliency. It will support the development of more than 1,700 additional housing units and additional fire protection for the community.
Water is always a concern for us, right? And that's one more thing to check off the box. We got a lot of things to worry about when we're fighting a fire, and we don't want water to be one of them, and this is going to help us.
The project is expected to be completed by the end of this year. The federal government is considering new restrictions on sports betting ads. Since Ottawa lifted the ban on sports gambling 5 years ago, the number of people seeking help for related mental health issues has skyrocketed. Even the MP who pushed for sports betting says the implementation has been, quote, deplorable. Kate McKenna reports.
I once had an 8-leg parlay. An octopus.
Nowadays, sports betting ads are unavoidable.
The team came out hot.
And the architect of the bill that lifted Canada's ban on single-event sports betting isn't happy with how it's going.
It's deplorable the way that some of the provinces have actually implemented it. I don't have regrets, but I mean, I definitely have, like I can tell you, is it just like it's sad to see some of the repercussions that we can still avoid them too. The story isn't done.
Former NDP MP Brian Massey pushed for decriminalization for 20 years, helping pass the bill that made it law.
I therefore declare the motion carried.
The Windsor MP wanted to support local casinos and argued that lifting the prohibition would curb illegal gambling.
It was really just to go to casinos and to special organizations or like charities, for example, or it would just stay with the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Commission. That's what I had recommended. But what they've done is they've launched it full throttle.
Soon after legalization, Ontario opened its market to private companies, helping launch what is now a multi-billion-dollar industry, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for Ontario.
But it is not the story that we were told. We were told that this was supposed to be a move of people already gambling on the black market and moving to the legal market. But the increase that we've seen suggests that there are a lot of people who are gambling today who weren't before.
A recent study found a jump of more than 300% in young men contacting Ontario's mental health helpline for gambling-related problems. The Canadian Gaming Association says it's already a highly regulated industry.
We've said, getting rid of advertising isn't going to solve problem gambling. If it had done that, it would have done that a long time ago.
The House of Commons is studying a bill that seeks to create national rules for sports gambling ads, sponsored by this Ontario senator.
Ordinary Canadians that reach out to me are desperate. How do we get this back in a little bit? How do we pull the reins in?
They say Canada made a bet on sports gambling, and right now too many Canadians are losing. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Coming up, from AI to 3D printing, hundreds of Winnipeg students put their best ideas forward, all in the name of science. That story still ahead. The third budget from Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew isn't all cheaper rotisserie chicken. The government is making assumptions about the province's money that could affect the NDP's plan to whittle down the deficit. The CBC's Bartley Kivas breaks down the 3 bets the Premier is making with Manitoba's money.
If you notice a sudden spike of these in your social feeds lately, you're not alone. Google Trends noticed too. This surge taking place on the day that Manitoba's NDP government released its third budget, featuring a promise of cheaper rotisserie chickens and junk food thanks to the removal of provincial sales tax for more groceries.
It tastes so much better with no tax.
Does it though? Knowing an additional tax cut on groceries is going to cost the province $32 million. There are other, far riskier aspects of this budget. Risky because the province is banking on a number of specific things to happen in order to whittle down Manitoba's deficit to just $500 million. Here's what I mean. For starters, the government's betting you and your employer are going to make more money this year. One of the ways the province expects to reduce the deficit is through an increase in personal and corporate income tax revenue. The budget for the coming year calls for income tax revenue to rise to $6.3 billion. That's an increase of $300 million over this year. Economists view this as optimistic. Seeing this gain may prove challenging against a highly uncertain backdrop, particularly as the government itself is forecasting subdued economic growth, said TD economist Rishi Sondhi. Number 2, the government's betting you're going to spend more money this year. More specifically, it's expecting you spend enough money this year to drive provincial sales tax revenue up $100 million to $3 billion. This is a tall order if inflation outpaces salary growth and people struggle to buy necessities. Number 3, the province is betting on a less disastrous wildfire season and Manitoba Hydro avoiding another drought. Low water means less money for hydro and likely more fires, which cost money to put out. Altogether, this translates into a government looking at a budget with the sunny side up, literally counting the eggs before the rotisserie chicken gets hatched. Bartley Kivas, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It is now day 7 of the Artemis II mission, and the astronauts are now officially on their way home after their historic trip around the moon. NASA released these photos of the far side of the moon. One shows the total solar eclipse seen from the capsule that occurred when the moon blocked the sun from its view. The 4 astronauts on board also briefed scientists on what the surface looked like. Splashdown in the Pacific Ocean off of San Diego is set for Friday.
The weather update is brought to you by Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
Let's get another check on your forecast now, as we've seen snow pushing into parts of the Parkland and the Interlake as we got through the day today. That has led to some highway closures, particularly Highway 20 around Winnipeg-Osis closed because of poor driving conditions. Let's get back to Colette with our provincial forecast.
Thanks, Riley. I know with the system coming through, it's not feeling very spring-like, but again, this not that unusual. So we have our Alberta Clipper, and with it, we do have some warnings from Environment Canada. A yellow level snowfall warning, all the areas you see here in white across the province. And this is where the temperatures will be more consistently on the colder side, not mixing, changing to that mix or getting above freezing. And so that's where we have the higher snowfall totals of 15 to 30 centimeters. Keeping in mind that's, tonight through tomorrow and then kind of on the backside of it tomorrow evening. A special weather statement, and that does include Winnipeg for more mixing, lower totals of 2 to 10 centimeters, and some of that kind of melting quickly or being washed away by the rain showers, and also some winds blowing this around and reducing visibility at times. So pretty broad system. Normally we talk about an Alberta Clipper. Okay, it's a good thing. It's a Clipper system. It moves quickly, but this one is just geographically taking up quite a lot of space. It does mean that we're likely to get into a bit of a dry slot coming through. I'm talking for the southern tier of the province. Not tonight, but into tomorrow we get the mixing and then that dry slot. However, it's going to stay more consistent for the Inner Lakes region and back towards Parkland, and why we have the snowfall warning that's been issued through that area. Eventually, here's your timeline. We're now into Wednesday evening, a little bit more on the backside, and then it finally swings on out of the province, and we can say goodbye to that. A little broader range, taking a look at some of the snow totals. Looks great further north, not even impacted. Dauphin maybe 15 centimeters. Some of the models were taking it up higher than that, and maybe in that 3 to 5 centimeter range for Winnipeg, more north than you're going to see south of the city. So a look at your temperatures where we have the clearer skies. It allows for the colder air to be in place. So that's what you get with the sunshine during the day northward. And here we get that situation where those temperatures come up just enough that it changes the mix and type of precipitation that we're seeing, just getting at those few degrees above freezing. Oh my goodness, it is my pleasure now to give you some good news to end this segment. How about Riley? Yeah, Riley was sent in by Abby and Wyatt, and apparently doesn't mind any kind of weather. That's why I thought this would be a nice dog to feature for you tonight when we're talking about all different types of weather that we're dealing with. And so for tomorrow, I put a few green paws in there where maybe we do get that dry slot. It just makes it a little more pleasant. Otherwise, we'll certainly have some active weather and some slick areas to deal with. Riley.
All right, thanks, Colette. Hundreds of Winnipeg students put their best ideas forward today, all in the name of science. From AI to 3D printing, the CBC's Gavin Axelrod learned what's on the minds of these future scientists.
We put water in it.
Caleb Barwed is getting practical.
We heat the bottle up and the water turns into water vapor, which then expands the bottle.
He's turning plastic bottles into materials for 3D printing.
I like how you can take plastic and turn it into anything you want. So I just decided that I wanted a reliable source of filament, so I created this.
He was among dozens of students putting their best ideas forward at the Winnipeg School Division Science Fair on Tuesday.
The difference between an AI.
Kylie Morales is testing who knows the difference between real and AI images.
We're going to an AI more dependent era. And what I'm wondering is it good or bad?
She says the results weren't what she was expecting.
I thought it would be at least 70%, but it's 50% now.
Others like Nimrit Sandhu chose to explore the great beyond.
The fact about space and how much we don't know about it is really interesting to me.
The more than 150 projects are exciting for educator Dorothy Goddard.
This is an opportunity to be there and share what they've learned in a larger capacity and be amongst other scientists in the Winnipeg School Division.
And these students from Tech Voc went with something everyone can relate to.
You guys should put us on the fight or flight test and we're on deadline.
Looking at how adrenaline can impact us.
Is that good?
That's a bit slow. Some people could be under pressure and actually respond to stuff better, but other people actually can't do anything under pressure.
But adrenaline didn't get in the way of these scientists sharing their projects with us. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Okay, speaking of science, here's some you can use. New research shedding light on why cutting onions makes you shed tears. Johanna Wagstaff explains.
You know the drill. Cut an onion, cry. But what if I told you there's a better way? Fewer tears, backed by science. Turns out the way you cut your onion and the tools you use matters. Scientists from Cornell University have published a paper after sciencing the heck out of slicing an onion. Their previous work, by the way, is in thermodynamics and atmospheric physics, so despite me not being a good cook, this is right up my alley. First, a quick why on the crying, and welcome to my very bad cooking show. When you slice into an onion, you're actually rupturing individual cells, triggering a reaction that creates a volatile gas called propanethyl S oxide.
The splash that coming out of the onion has the speed of about 10 meters per second, which is much higher than the speed what we create when we cough.
That's the stuff that irritates your eyes and makes you tear up. But until now, no one has really studied the physics of the cut. The science shows it's a two-stage spray. First, there's a high-speed burst of juice from the pressurized outer layers. Then as you keep cutting, streams or ligaments of juice break into finer droplets that hang in the air longer. And the number one factor that makes this worse? A dull knife. A duller blade pushes down on the onion, flexing the layers inwards. And then when those layers spring back, they basically launch onion juice into the air up to 60 centimeters from the launch site. The team also hypothesized that a faster chop might mean more pressure, more spray, more tears. But guess what? The high-speed particle tracker showed no real change, which is great because I've never been able to master the fast chop. They do suggest more of a shearing motion.
So the chopping speed, surprisingly, it does not really control the speed of droplet. That is one of the biggest finding in our study. Because as I mentioned, everything is about the cell explosion process.
A few other takeaways. The direction that you cut from pole to pole or around the equator also didn't make much of a difference. But drying your onions out slightly ahead of time by taking the top layer off, that might help ease the cell pressure and minimize spray. So sharp knife, shearing motion, and a pre-peel, that's how science says you'll cry less when cutting onions. You're welcome. Do you cry at all still?
Yeah, I still cry. But we love onions, so that's why even though we cry, we just keep cutting the onions.
Coming up, ice cream craze. What icy treats are Manitobans eager to taste this spring, even if the weather isn't quite there yet?
Well, certainly needing to be mindful over these next 24 to 36 hours with the road conditions deteriorating and kind of taking it easy as we get into some of that mixing, too, for the southern tier of the province earlier and further north where we have the snowfall warning and it's more consistently snow. 2 degrees for tomorrow. At least we get some sunshine coming in towards the end of the week. The temperature trying to warm up a little bit on Friday. But it actually is going to get there and get into those double digits for daytime highs as we move through the weekend, likely with some showers coming in, though, on Sunday. And then the dip happens again, as spring likes to do to us. A little tease of warm up and then a little cool down. More warmth will come, though.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Thank you, Colette. Well, it may be spring, but it may be a while, as you see there, before it really starts to feel like spring. Some Winnipeggers say the season officially kicks off when local ice cream shops like Sargent Sunday open for the year. So what are Manitobans eager to taste this season? The CBC's Jim Agapito stopped by Sargent Sunday for our Daily Lift.
Now, why do you think Winnipeggers like to get ice cream even though it's still cold and there's still some snow outside?
People just, after being cooped up inside all winter, they just want to get out, they want to go for a walk, they want to feel that sunshine and just enjoy a Winnipeg staple.
You're getting an ice cream today. This place just opened. What are you having?
Chocolate milkshake, vanilla milkshake, and a root beer milkshake.
Vanilla and mango. Why? Because it's the start of the season. The weather changed, and I want to take the taste of the Sargent Sundays.
All winter we drink coffee. Now that this is open, we have milkshakes and have something cool. I am at Enoch, and Enochs love ice cream.
Tell me, why did you want to get ice cream today?
I actually prefer the ice cream here because it's real ice cream.
It's kind of the beginning of spring. Why do you think that is?
Because now we know that winter's over. Nobody likes winter here, but we stay anyways.
What is it that you decided to have here today?
So the very cherry cheesecake is my favorite.
Okay, why is it your favorite?
I don't know, it just is. I actually don't like real cherries, but I love cherry cheesecake.
Come out and enjoy an ice cream. Go for a walk in the park.
And that's The Scoop. I've been waiting all day to say that one. Thank you for being with us on this Tuesday. Take it easy on the roads, particularly north of the city. With all that snow, have a great night.